like careers in tech. And, you know, I'm just gonna ask some of you some questions, whether it's in chat or somewhere else. So what careers within tech do you usually think of? Like you can say it out loud, you can type in chat, whatever medium works better for you.
Yeah, and I don't think for some reason the chat is not enabled on the webinars and I couldn't figure out how to, but you can just post in the Q&A if you have any ideas.
Oh yeah, there is a Q&A. I'm seeing it right now. Okay, so I'm seeing like software engineer, I'm seeing testing, I'm also seeing data science, which we are going to discuss later. Mobile development, that's another good answer, and another data science. So I'm gonna just like wait like I guess like a couple of minutes or so. Seems like a lot of the answers are pretty diverse. There is still software engineering, and there's like different realms within software engineering, like with mobile development, cybersecurity, machine learning. I'm not going to discuss all of those careers because like the tech industry offers like a wide range of careers. Not all of them require coding. And I'm going to talk to you about some of those options. So another question is, what are your non-tech interests? What are your non-tech interests? So I'm going to actually type in the Q&A and try. I'm not, okay. Okay, cooking. I'm seeing one answer. I'm just gonna wait like a couple or more minutes for people to like write down their answers in chat in the Q&A. Okay. Exercise. Yeah, there are actually applications. It's just going in. Hiking and an unhealthy addiction to Destiny 2. Yep, so actually there's game development. I'm not going to be talking about that specific career in the presentation, but that is like that's a tech career. Alternatively, you can work in the gaming industry as a software engineer or like a UX designer, which I'll talk a little bit more in depth. And also teaching, like there's this field called ed tech, which I'm not going to go too much into, but ever since with the coronavirus, there have been like, you know, ways to implement technology into like teaching. So I think we're good on that front, at least for now. So I'm going to ask another question. This is like the second to last one. So how can you combine tech and your other interests together into a career? Oops, I didn't mean to make it that big. My apologies. Oh yeah, I'll repeat the question. So how can you combine tech and your other interests together into a career? Okay. Seeing that there's no open question, no open answers, at least in the Q&A, that is totally fine. You don't have to know. That's what you came to learn more about. Besides working in the tech industry, which industries can you see yourself using your technical skills? And I'm also seeing like more responses. So someone said to build an app that helps people find trails matching their hiking ability. Honestly, like for those who like hiking, I think it's incredibly useful. And someone else said that they go for full-time tech and apply their knowledge to teach in their community. I'm not sure what BIN stands for / construction, but that sounds like an amazing application, to be honest. And then wait a couple more minutes. You can make software. Someone said you can make software that helps you with your other interests. For example, you can use running and make software for a watch that helps you keep track of stuff. Honestly, y'all have like really creative answers that I wouldn't have thought otherwise when creating this presentation or like at any point. So we're going to talk about potential interdisciplinary careers that you can pursue. So there's product management. It's more so of a business role, but you still have to like, be able to identify like the focus of the company and what their goals are. But you also have to satisfy the client. So it's like they're the ones like, basically like the visionary, like the one that would help the software engineers and like the data scientists. Like these are the things that the business wants in this product, and this is what they would want. And like they work with like their other teammates to like focus on the product life cycle, which kind of consists of defining the problem of like the product in itself, and also trying to like establish like what kind of product they're gonna make so that they can shape their vision into like a product that like people can actually use. So user experience designers would also work with product managers, not to be confused with UI designers, which I'm going to go more into like in the next slide. So UX designers would focus more on like products, regardless if it's like a graphic user interface or if it's like a website, a mobile application. They would try to like provide like a meaningful product that is relevant to their target user audience. So say for example, someone wants to create a website for people who like running, to people who like hiking, so that they can find hiking trails that they match to their like their ability, right? And like the UX designer would be the one like like creating like designing based on like the design itself and like how it's going to function, like based on like what the target audience wants, which in this case would be people who like hiking. And this is slightly different from user interface design or UI design. They would focus more on the interfaces and software and other devices. They would also focus and emphasize more on style than UX designers. And they would try to like make it like aesthetically pleasing and like easy to use. Along with it, like within the realm of user UX or user experience, there is a UX researcher. They would actually go like study their target users, plus like the requirements of the business. And how they would go around it is that they would try to use like various methods of research, whether it would be like surveying a target population. In the previous example, they would try to like interview like people who like hiking, whether if it's a hobby or like it's like more of a serious thing in their lives. And they would try to like gather these insights either from an interview, a survey, or like another like research method, so that they can adopt these insights into the design process that like the UX designer and UI designers would use. And we also have data scientists. I heard some people actually mentioning this as an interdisciplinary tech career, and you're right, it is in here. So they would combine statistics, data analysis, the scientific method, and artificial intelligence to extract meaning from collected data. So where, like, some of you may be a little bit confused, where does the scientific go in? So you have to, like, for I don't remember the entirety of the scientific method, but I can like assure that like you're gonna have to define like what are we searching for, and like what kind of like meaning do I get from like these data sets, and like what kind of data sets it is, whether if it's like text-based data. In that case, you would try to like try to extract based on like the text and like what it means to the business, because that's what you're trying to do in the end. So you're trying to like get the results from the data analysis to get to recognize patterns and use these insights to benefit businesses and like influence what they're going to do with their business to increase their profit, and amongst other things. So tech consultants, they could be freelance. They could also work in like a consulting firm like Accenture. They advise businesses and their other clients on how to use software and other technology, whether it's for design, development, to help them, And technical communicator, there are like many different mediums of communication within technical communication. I guess like the most common job titles, they usually come in the form of writers, but they can also go in the form of like technical illustrators and designers. They would like within the realm of this program, they would talk about technical topics such as AI, machine learning, tech ethics, tech policy, a lot more, also including cybersecurity, blockchain, Web3, and so much more. And like they can also like provide instructions on how to like do something, like that technical documentation in Python or like another programming language. I'm pretty sure like a technical communicator would actually write it and try to showcase in the best way possible. So there are plenty of organizations that you can learn about like different careers within tech. There aren't like this is like the list that I could find, because it's important to like network, and like it can be quite intimidating because because it can be hard to like introduce yourself and like try to like connect with people who can like help you get on the path where you want to go. And also there's like, if you haven't experienced this yet, like the existential crisis of finding a career where you want to go, because you want to like be satisfied in your career, but you also want to be like have a career that you want that is relatively stable, if that's within your criteria. So I'm going to tell you about these organizations and online communities. So All Tech is Human, this is the first one. It's basically like a nonprofit that strives to make tech more human, more aligned with the human experience, and overall less dangerous for humanity, at least for my interpretation. And what they do is that they have like an online community on Slack, and you can talk with other people who are interested in like different areas, such as tech ethics and like making sure that tech and like different areas of tech like AI, cybersecurity, they would try to like make it more aligned with what people actually want. And this like goes along with the fact that it's aligned with like civic tech, which combines tech plus like the public interest, like more so in the public sector, but it's not always like it. So Design Buddies is actually more in an online community on Discord. And not everybody would use like Discord for like professional development, but I think like this person called Grace, she started Design Buddies because like she transitioned from mechanical engineering to UX design, which is kind of similar to mine. I transitioned from mechanical engineering to more so of like digital accessibility. And Design Buddies has like a helpful community, especially for UX design, UI design, but it also like provides like a space to talk about product management and UX research. As for mixed methods, it's more like an online community, and they also have like a website and like a podcast that hasn't been updated recently as of 2020 on UX research. There's also Impact Labs and Coding It Forward. It's more so to like find opportunities to network. Impact Labs and Coding It Forward have newsletters that come out like probably like once every 4 weeks or something to like talk about what's currently going on within like civic tech, which is kind of similar to all tech is human. But Coding It Forward also has a Facebook group, and they would like talk about different opportunities, what's happening within the realm of civic tech, especially for like people who want to get to it as like, as recent grads or, even like college students. Impact Labs, they don't have as much of an active Slack channel, but they have like different opportunities that aren't just jobs. Volunteering is also like a valuable thing to have you on your resume, not just because it's on your resume, but it also shows that you do something outside of work and like of school, which you can potentially pursue. Not everybody has to. So there's also the coronavirus visualization team. It's a nonprofit for high school students, college students, and post-grad people, like, working professionals, something like that, to volunteer their time to create data visualizations, participate in research projects, whether it's about like mental health during the COVID-19 pandemic, xenophobia, within like different racial groups, and just like other topics related to the COVID-19 pandemic. As for like more so like general like communities for support, so OSTEM Global and Out in Tech are similar. I'm gonna look at the Q&A. I'm gonna answer this question later on how to build your network. I'm gonna answer it more so at the end, but thank you for bringing it up. Like it may be like a unconventional way, because like you can also do it through like career fairs and try to like get to know like the jobs that are offered within tech, which some of these organizations do provide, like All Tech is Human, Coding It Forward, and Impact Labs. I think Impact Labs has a summit that's going on from August 13th to August 14th, where you can like meet people in person in like Manhattan, New York City, and try to like get to know people. But since like not everybody is near that place, like you can use like these organizations that I talked about so far to like introduce yourself to people that you haven't encountered yet, especially because like if you're interested in some of these like fields like UX design, you can totally go on Design Buddies, and if you don't have a Discord account yet, you can create one and use Discord and Slack for professional purposes. If you want to learn more on how to actually introduce yourself and network, I can also answer that question later, if you want to ask that as well. So OSTEM Global and Out in Tech are like extremely similar. The only difference with OSTEM Global and Out in Tech, besides like the platforms that they use, like OSTEM Global would use Discord, Out in Tech uses Slack. But another one is that like Out in Tech is for LGBTQ plus people in tech, and it's more so specific in the United States, and OSTEM Global, it's like for LGBTQ plus people in tech and other STEM fields, but it's also like more global, and they would talk about not only like networking, but also like provide some support, whether emotional or something of the sort, with being like an LGBTQ plus person in tech or another like STEM field. Built by Girls is like it's an online mentoring platform. It's like usually to get more women to get interested and into different, like, you know, introduce them to like different women who volunteer their time to like learn about different tech careers and like explore. But you can also use it to like strengthen your technical skills. I haven't personally used it for that purpose, but that's what I can share to you about like building your network. And I also like, if you join the communities, I think like it would be best to introduce yourself. Like there are people who already did it. So like format your message in a similar way that other people have done it, according to like what other people have shared about themselves, like what they're interested in, what they want to do in tech, and like potential career fields that you have discovered or here and other means, and try to like talk to someone about it. If you could set up a coffee chat, whether it's on like an online community here that you find, or if it's on LinkedIn or any other platform like Facebook, which is kind of unconventional because not everybody would use Facebook for a professional purpose. So I think that's the end of my presentation. But if people still have questions like going around, feel free to ask it in the Q&A. Any questions? Yep, I think I can go I can go more in depth, because introducing yourself in a community would be so awkward, especially if you're new. Personally, this is like what I like to do because I don't really know any of you well here, but I think like recognizing this is an opportunity for networking, especially if it's like online and you can't necessarily see people's faces like on Zoom. I think it's important to check if the organization that you're joining in, if they're verified, whether they have like another website, an actual website to go to, and like there are more people who are actually in it and like they're engaging, and that the medium of like communication isn't completely inactive. So I would like look out for those things first before like, you know, introducing yourself, and, you know, formatting your introduction like message. Like if there's like an intros channel, like you would format it in a similar way, and it could be awkward for people to know your name, but just remember you're doing this for networking purposes and that they don't have to learn about your personal life. Another question, do you have any information on what type of tech careers are going to be in highest demand in the next 10 years or so? Honestly, I don't really know the answer to this. And like honestly, like tech is like ever changing. It's extremely fast paced. That I don't think I would necessarily know what's gonna happen within the next 10 years or so, because within 1 year, tech can like completely evolve and change from like now, like with web 3.0, and like I'm not exactly sure what it would entail, but like there may be a lot of changes that are coming, and like also like it depends on like the field within tech that you're talking about. So I think it's not so much of a straightforward answer that, you know, I would be like, you should pursue this tech career because it will have a lot of demand. It's not as easy as like, you know, predicting which one will be. But and it's also like it also depends on like the versatility of the tech career field. For example, like data science, if we go back to it, um data science can be used in a lot of industries such as healthcare, pharmaceuticals, like entertainment, social media, and it's like super duper versatile. But also product management, it's like, also versatile in a lot of industries like with finance, consulting, something like it. So it's not so much of like which tech career would you think that would be in highest demand. It's more so of like, what do you want to look for in a tech career, and like what do you want to do in the first place. And you should like enjoy your career to some extent, not every single day, but you shouldn't like go in and like dread your job every single day.
If I can add on to that as well, I just wanted to add, like, I really got into the tech industry probably about 10 years ago today. And most of the fields that are the types of tech careers that are in highest demand now, like literally didn't exist when I got started in the tech industry. So I think that's an important thing to consider. As Hana Gabrielle was saying, like, just being excited about the work you're doing and being flexible and interested in learning new things is more important than picking the right thing, because the careers that are going to be most in demand by the time you graduate might not even exist yet.
So I see like 2 questions. I'm gonna see like how I can like answer them. So what steps can or should we take as college students to pursue one of the fields mentioned in the presentation? And how do we frame our education and experience when marketing to companies for any of the roles covered today? So those 2 questions are fairly complex. I'm gonna answer them the best I can within the 1 hour that I have, or any of the limited time that I have. I guess like for the steps that you could take as a college student, pursue one of the fields mentioned in the presentation. I guess this is how I sort of got into digital accessibility. I worked on like accessibility project back in college. It was more so like using applications of computer vision, which is like it's like a subfield within AI to detect like whether a person with a visual impairment would actually like be able to like engage in a aerobics workout, because like people with visual impairments, when they go through like a public fitness class, it's not easy for them to like see the instructor, because I mean they may have an extremely hard time seeing them, or they can't see them at all. And like interviewing like a blind person, she was talking about like her challenges, navigate like how she navigated internet, which due to my ignorance, I didn't think like blind people could like access the internet, but that was actually on me and not on her. I think like internships can definitely help, like the one that you're doing right now, and also like volunteering. It doesn't have to be directly related to what you want in career, but like volunteering would show that like you're doing something outside of like just classes and other things, and also like doing side projects, whether if it's like in data science and you want to pursue that, like you can take a data set and you can try to like create a data visualization depending on the data set, whether if it's like analyzing like the trending YouTube videos in the United States for within the span of 8 months, or you try to get a data set from Kaggle, or something from like UX design. I guess like when during my undergrad years, I also took classes in like human computer interaction, learn about the fundamentals of UX design, and try to do a group project. And if you don't have any projects beyond your class projects, you can like frame them in a way that sounds like it wasn't just a class project, and try to add metrics within your resume. And also just like participating in clubs to whatever extent you can, or like going in coffee chats to like learn about different companies and different careers and how they got there in the first place. If you're a college has that, which kind of ties it into the second question. I think like having a LinkedIn is extremely important in like updating it as when you get like new experiences, like the projects at CodeDay Labs, which is extremely important. But also just like try like how to use LinkedIn, how to create like an introduction, and how you should like write your introduction, like, hi, my name is Hana Gabrielle. I'm a program analyst at Wells Fargo working on digital accessibility. And like you can see examples of like how to write a LinkedIn intro from like online, but you can also look at other people's like LinkedIn profiles and see what you like about it and see if it's like reasonable and feasible to put on your LinkedIn profile. And also just like going to other talks in like CodeDay, if they have something about like how to use LinkedIn and other things, because I think LinkedIn is actually important for like getting employers to see what you do beyond the scope of your resume, and also having like a website to showcase like yourself like in a more professional manner than just like showcasing like things that you do for fun, because like companies would like search what you do. And I guess like if it's for like industry, I think they actually prefer if you have some sort of social media presence. Like you don't have to be like an influencer per se, but you like they want to see that like they can find you on the internet to some extent. Best roles for remote work. Or what are the worst roles for remote work? Honestly, I don't have a straightforward answer for this. The thing is that like it depends on the company. It also depends if the company would prefer to work on site, like completely like in the office. They want to do like a hybrid model, so it's a combination of um it's a combination of in-person work on site or like remote work, or if it's completely remote. And with the COVID-19 pandemic, and like as more companies are wanting the workers to go back in person, it doesn't have so much to do with like the role itself, but it's more so with the company and like what like the bosses want. With data science, like especially if you're working at a bank, if you're like working with sensitive and confidential data, like in healthcare, finance, like especially at a bank, it's gonna be less likely you're gonna work completely remotely. It's more so likely that you're gonna like work on site. And also, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate giving this presentation today. I think I'm gonna wait like a couple more minutes to see if there are any more questions. Is the cover letter important? Actually, for most jobs, like if you go on the website and if you try to apply, this is my personal opinion, but I guess other people might have a different one. I personally don't do it just because I feel like you can showcase like why you want this job through your resume, and you can also showcase it on your LinkedIn, which they may or may not see, and like your overall like online application. So actually for some jobs they require it, but for some they don't. And I personally tend to err on the not writing a cover letter if it's not required, but I think it also depends on like the role that you want. What was the most valuable advice that you got when you first getting into industry? That's extremely difficult because I got a lot of valuable advice, but I guess be willing to open your mind. I think I'm not the kind of person to be like the most flexible when it comes to like choosing like tech careers and all. Funny enough, like I still like I wanted to be a data scientist you know, in my sophomore year, I was like partially giving into the hype around that time, and like back in 2018. I still like find it's a career that I want to pursue, but like I changed like what I want a career several times. That it's more so like being open-minded and to like change your mind, because what you want in a career like today may be actually like completely different from for what you want in a career in like in the next 3 years or even the next 5 years. Like people would transition careers more often than you think than you initially think. Mm, I think that's a good amount of questions. I'm just like trying to see if like technically the time is over.
All right, that sounds great. Well, thank you so much for not only the excellent presentation, but for answering all those questions. And thanks to all the students who asked the really great questions. Is there anything else you wanted to share with folks before we let you go?
I guess like a word of advice I have that it's not just about be willing to change your mind is to talk to other people, not only in CodeDay labs about like what you want in a career, but also be willing to like explore unconventional like mediums of like professional development. Like usually people would think of LinkedIn, but I actually use LinkedIn pretty sparingly when it came to like networking. I think I got like a lot more meaningful interactions from like Discord servers like Design Buddies, but also Slack channels like All Tech is Human and like mixed methods, especially because like I'm interested in transitioning to UX research. So I think that um like you know, be open to like exploring other methods of networking, because like sometimes Facebook is like an undervalued use source. If you do have Facebook, like you could like join in like groups for like tech. Like if you're a woman in tech, there's like an organization called Women Are Rewriting the Code, and it's basically like it's like a platform. They have a Facebook group and an official website where you can like you know talk about the experiences of being a woman in tech. Fortunately enough, I didn't like face that much sexism, but I know women who like endured so much worse than me. So I guess like it depends on what platforms you normally use, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Twitter is an also amazing resource, especially if you want to go into technical communication and like all the other fields that I mentioned. Like you can meet new people there, and you can potentially like you know connect with each other, whether if it's on a professional level or go more so on a personal level if you like actually click, like really click.
All right, thank you so much for all this wonderful information. And yeah, thank you again for taking the time on the holiday, and we really appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.